Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to another exciting Link to the Past randomizer match between Cadenza and Brewers JP fan Brewers JP. I'm joined today by my co-com Solski. How's Halo going?
It was going pretty good. I think I won all my matches, so it's good.
Okay, I'm getting used to it too, so it's pretty fun. But what do you think about this match too?
I think when I see Cadenza's name, I want to say Cadenza, and then there's JP. Who's gonna win?
Yeah. I mean, I'm commentating this match, so JP has to win. It's kind of a guarantee. But Cadenza definitely has one of those names you just want to yell out loud to the winds.
It's a good name,
Cadenza.
man. It's a good name.
But this is I believe, yeah, losers bracket game 1 between JP and Cadenza. So it's just gonna be your normal settings, and we'll just see how it goes.
What sprite does Cadenza have? Do you know by chance?
That's Abigail.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, I know JP is playing as what appears to be Godzilla. I don't know. I'm not up with these dragon types these days.
Yeah, it's some sort of dragon. I don't know. Maybe it's from some popular franchise I'm not aware of. But
I believe the chat is correcting me, and it is Dragonzilla. Okay, good. I even see a Charizard in there. Huh. Don't know what that is, but we're gonna move on. JP checking out Uncle here, and Cadenza going for kind of a traditional right here. Just can check out the Lost Woods area first. And JP finding a glove right off the start. And 20 bucks. Uncle's very stingy. I don't know. Sometimes he just gives out more rupees. Today he's just not giving up. Cadenza not really finding too much in the Lost Woods. And just 50 bucks. That's actually really good. So he's starting out with 100, going down into Village Gas. It's a little later. Kakariko Village. So it's good to always have 100 rupees, be able to pay off the bottle vendor, kind of a bribe, really, or be able to buy more bombs. He's already got 6 though, so he should be fine. JP, meanwhile, utilizing those gloves and is going to go ahead and check the back 3 of escape. Gets a flute. That's actually a really good draw. Gets a boomerang as well. We'll talk about that in a second, but the flute's the main star of that pull. Now he's going to be able to go through Kakariko Village in one kind of swoop and be able to cash in that flute while he goes into Kakariko Village. So he's actually going to save a good 30-ish seconds here. That's a really nice early pull for him.
yeah, and the longer that it takes Cadenza to find it as well, that's just going to be more and more time JP pulls ahead of Cadenza. So, like I said, just super nice finding that before you head over to Kakariko.
For sure. Usually when a player opts to kind of forego the uncle check early on, they'll typically do it like third in tier of like, say, Kakariko and South Shore. So that's, again, where JP will just add seconds to his game right now by having that flute for South Shore.
All right, so we got our pretty standard checks, right now. Nothing really pointing to how we're going to get into Dark World just yet. Sure, the glove is one piece of the puzzle, but we all know how V31 is with these Ganon seeds.
Yeah, V31 is an odd creature for sure.
But hey, there's a hammer, so
that's a thing.
That's good. That's a good item.
While being a great weapon that does do tempered sword damage, could lead to early Dark World Axis finding with that pearl, and of course if he does locate that that glove, which he should. We see a fire rod too in Chicken Coop. Also could lead to East Death Mountain with that flute if they find a mirror pairing with that as well. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, these are pretty nice finds for early on. You know, fire rod for that fire source, and pretty much for Hera and Skullwoods. You know, flute for the overworld travel, and then 2 pieces of Dark World access. It's a pretty solid start.
All right, so just a shovel here in the back of the bar. Pretty standard opening kind of fill items coming up right now. Library just bombs, so we know we don't require that.
Yeah, nothing's really showing up that would make our runners maybe diverge from, you know, the normal standard routes. Except for the shovel, obviously you'll go ahead and pick that up instead of saving and quitting. But we'll see what happens. See what these items show up for us. The
For
hammer
sure.
could lead to like an escape for Cadenza. I'm assuming Cadenza did not go to Uncle. That's where the glove was, right?
That is correct.
So I wouldn't put it past Cadenza then to maybe want to gamble on that before South Shore, but hey, I'm just here commentating.
I just want to point out that JP's Charizard is very ill right now. I don't know how much longer he has, but hopefully that red mail will fix the situation.
Yeah, looking a little nauseous there. Cool. Maybe turning in circles a little too much. But it's got that flute. Flute's nice. We'll go over to South Shore pretty quickly. And there's Cadenza. He's got that weapon for escape, so gonna go ahead and just head over there and probably clear up to Zelda Cell.
For sure. And we also have a lot of 007 fans in chat right now with those 07s. I guess that's the Agent 7, not like the double O agent. I don't know.
Something like that. I mean, it's a pretty popular franchise. Maybe we'll get a James Bond sprite someday. It has to be
Maybe.
Who's your favorite James Bond? I gotta ask.
Pierce Brosnan, without a doubt.
Okay, I can respect that. GoldenEye is pretty good movie. But I don't know. I probably have to agree with that too. Let's get a Pierce Brosnan sprite for Randomizer.
Like I don't mind the new guy, but yeah, he's just all-time fave. I guess childhood, right? Growing up with him, so.
Yeah, it was one of the first ones I saw too, so a little bit of bias. Sean Connery's pretty cool too. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he's all right. But you're right about Cadenza's play to escape there with the hammer. So that's a good read there. Does have that glove now. Hammer glove pairing good, and you get this early escape play out of the way. It'll be interesting to see what JP does next with this flute. Probably does South Shore. Also has that option just to kind of peek in the mountain area early. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what he does with it.
Yeah, I want to say probably sticks with South Shore. Maybe want to find a Hookshot or Mirror, so when he goes up to Death Mountain, you can just do all of that in one go. Oh,
He's really sick now, guys.
Someone call an ambulance for Brewers, please. I don't know if he's gonna survive this whole seed.
I was gonna say
that's gonna help either.
I don't think he's gonna survive the race. Oh, you know what? Maybe he's like one of those. I don't know. What are they called? Furbies? Like they change based on the element. You know, the brown ones, the little squirrel guy.
didn't know Furbies had an element. I thought they just like sat there and like just looked creepy at you. Unless that's something else.
But hey, there's an ice rod.
Hey, that's a nice rod.
All right, so
he's actually just burnt. I mean, he's a little black, so the ice rod could kind of help with that.
Maybe. But yeah, I guess Turtle Rock Pendant confirmed now.
Oh, it has to be. We got bow in there. We got flippers in there. I would say flute, but we already found it.
You know what the best part is? People are gonna think I'm joking. And then it's just gonna be like the map check. And you're like, yup.
Alright, someone go message JP and tell him to go to Dark World just so we can confirm that. We'll see in 20 minutes, but we need that info now. Not a whole lot over in Moldorm Cave. So, probably thinking you can go eastern maybe to find some items there, or you could just gamble on Death Mountain right now.
Looks like they're gonna just kind of go ahead and play safe. Check out that Ice Rock Cave. I don't mind it. I mean, you got the flute. You cut that travel in half, so it's a pretty decent play. I actually like the play to desert early on, checking out that desert ledge and also doing Agina's. It's a really good kind of stab early with that flute, and it's almost the same price as an Ice Rod cave check, so you kind of get a bonus scout with that as well.
Yeah, there's been plenty of seeds where there's like a really nice item on that ledge and people just don't see it till the very end. Like they'll full clear a bunch of dungeons looking for it, and then they flute over there and they're like, oh, it's there the whole time. So it's nice just getting that info early on.
So they're basically just exchanging places now. JP going for that front of escape play, and then Cadenza going for the subshore play. So, not a whole lot going on. But that's okay. I've been informed that the proper name for JP Sprite is a Squirtle. So now that we're through that, guys, we can kind of focus on the race. What's that? It's not a Squirtle? This is embarrassing. I do like the B usage by Cadenza there to kind of utilize 99.9% of the game, a useless entity, and allows him to kind of do that Moldorm Cave with quite ease with that. All right, JP looks like he's going to be going to the mountains. Equipping that flute again after doing the front of escape. Nope. Never mind. He knows about the A+ location, right? And that's Ash Cave. 3 items, very quick density. Is pretty much number 3 in the early Light World, no items required kind of locations. Gets missed a lot. But luckily he's like, oh wait, there's these 3 easy chests here that's going to cost me 25 seconds to get to. I might as well do it. I like it. Cadenza also right here checking out Agina's, which is also a scout I like. So This is just like my dream right now. And Sash Cave always has those boots. Love it. Surprisingly, though, going to go ahead to Eastern. I don't mind the play. They don't really have too much left in Logic. We'll see what comes through that Eastern play. And Cadenza is also going to follow suit. Now, hopefully they go to Sash Cave first, but if they're fluting to 5, okay, good. I was going to say, with gloves, they have the option to go to Eastern first and then backtrack to Sash, but without a bow, I feel it's just always a smart idea to go to Sash first.
But I see we found boots.
We
where
found
did
boots.
come from?
They came from Sash Cave. Cadenza going to go ahead and check out that Bonk Rocker right away.
Might as well. Just bail out of Eastern. Don't got the bow.
I think it's better heads up because they do have the flute and they can get back faster. And there's the pearl, so that's like Dark World access now.
Right. And given that it's a crystal, like, and you got, hammer, and you got a fire source, there's pretty much you're gonna head to bot anyways. So you can just chain both of them together, and hopefully by that point you got the bow.
For sure. So man, if you played your cards right, you could actually had like pearl glove hammer boots by Kakariko. That's pretty crazy. But no one
rando for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say no one does Uncle to Sash, right?
I actually do that occasionally, especially like in MC Shuffle. Just grab some bombs on the way to Eastern, and after doing whole hand, it's a real nice play.
It's my starting route.
Man, you're acting like I even watch you, Solski.
You're saying you don't? And
I watch his act.
Wow. All right, this commentary's over. I'm out of here.
All right, so we'll just let chat kind of just call out the items. I see Nuestria doing that already, so see you guys in like an hour and a half.
Yeah. We get a lamp chess game. It's kind of nice, I guess. Puts in what JP is doing into Logic, which is the key. We get the good boomerang out of the distillery here.
Let's see what's on this last check. Could you imagine if this is like a bow? That'd be real nice. But of course it's not gonna be a bow.
Would you like a book instead?
Book's alright. I'll take that. Maybe you could just like throw that at the Igors. It's pretty sharp. Just hit him with like the edge of a page. That's gotta be painful.
I mean, if it gets like in the webbing of your fingers, like that's gonna hurt a lot, right? But if it's just like anywhere else, probably not gonna be a big deal.
Yeah, where's the realism in this game? I mean, come on. You should be able to like use the shovel against Ganon. Like, that hurts. That's metal right there. JP gained his Moon Pearl. Gonna go to Kakariko. So no one wanted to do the south route first. Just wanted to start in Village of Outcasts and kind of make their way over.
It's definitely a preference. I don't know. Me personally, I like doing Hype Cave. It's an easy, fast 5 items, but there's really no right or wrong way to route Dark World early on. So it's just, honestly, it's like if you get lucky or not the whole time. So.
Yeah, it's I find like starting high cave is a little bit more preferable nowadays, especially if you don't have anything to get over to like the pod area, so you can just like bomb jump after checking like Graveyard Ledge or Skullwoods, and then not have to worry about like going south and then going north. You just start south, Dark World, and then make your way up north. But they got hammer, so it doesn't really matter. But hey, there's some myths. So Hype Cave, pretty nice. That will actually help a lot. So if you started Hype Cave for this, you could have just, you know, did that whole southern route and just went up into Village Valcast without any issues.
Yeah, the Titans definitely does open up a lot more options as well too. Another one that's going to be at their disposal now is going to be the Mire area. Fluting over to 6, and being able to check out that Mire Shed, what Mire's medallion requirement is. It's a pendant dungeon. They don't have a sword, but they can still see what it is. And if they compare it with the mirror, they can get easier access to Desert and Checkerboard Cave.
Yeah, we'll probably see that in a while. Definitely doing these checks right now makes the most sense. It's too bad we don't have a sword just yet. Otherwise, we can just clear Skullwoods if JP wanted to do that, despite it being Green Pendant. But at least gives us access to the back to check that one chest. That's an ether, so it's there's our Toa Rock potential access.
JP getting a map there in the pinball room in Skullwoods. One of the more newer additions to the randomizer code, opening up that one chest for item distribution. So now, like, players, if they're not careful, could actually get into situations where they might key lock themselves. It's only typically when they fall in the pit. Otherwise, they can probably just get grabbed by the grab hand, as I always call them. The wall master, I guess, is what you actually call them.
Yeah, I really like that change a lot because, I mean, before most of the time you just dropped in that pit and just always did that route. But now you actually have to think about, like, you know, what is the best way to route Skullwoods based on what I have, and do I want to take that risk that there is a small key in there? So anything that adds options, you know, definitely a good change. All right, Cadenza going to Thieves Town. This is the safe play. You got the hammer, so you're not going to isolate big chests. To Crystal, you get a sword, which is even cooler thing. Gonna make that blind fight a lot easier. But there's like no reason not to do Thieves Town after doing a few checks around the area.
Yeah, not to excite everyone early as well, but that sword could open up that Mire play now, depending on if Ether is Mire's medallion or not.
JP probably actually liking this seat a lot because there's no weird stuff going on just yet like his past seeds have had. Just being able to go into Thieves Town with a hammer and a sword, that's a real comfy dungeon.
It really is a standard seed so far, isn't it? Except you have Ice Rod early, so then it's weird to me.
Yeah, that's a little odd. Ice Rod it's not supposed to show up till like an hour and 30 in Spike Cave after getting, you know, Burna or Cape and Ganon Sour.
It's a nice hell dash there from JP. I see he's been practicing.
sure has. Execution goes a long way in these races. Just even like 5 or 10 seconds here and there can really add off with how close like all of our matches have been.
Yeah, it's been a pretty tight tournament. I think I've been a big advocator of like the seedings didn't really matter just because like the placements were so tight to begin with. Like there's a lot of skilled runners in this tournament, so it's gonna be really crazy when it gets to brackets. I think that's gonna be some of the tightest competition we've seen yet. So I'm kind of excited for it.
Yeah, agreed. It's just there's a way different play style compared, between qualifiers and 1v1. Qualifiers, you can just do dumb gambles, and if they don't pay off, you're still probably going to get into quals if you're skilled enough. But in a 1v1, like, that doesn't matter. Like, you got to win these matches or you're out.
Let's see, is free so far. Just got their Master Sword at Blind Cell. So that's 2 swords in Thieves Town.
We're gonna get Tempered Sword. We're gonna get Tempered Sword on blind if we haven't picked up a compass or map just yet.
We've seen the map. I don't know about the compass.
But no, you're right. Definitely finding Master Sword is super free, especially using sword beams for blind. If it goes a little wrong, just makes it an even easier fight.
Hey, so you know what Blind said when he saw Cadenza striking with that final? Cadenza!
Cadenza! I'm sorry. I wonder if the French stream is doing it too. But there you go. JP actually going down to half a heart. A little scary there. Good thing he's got that red mail. And now both runners are just gonna do their the other person's checks. Cadenza. Gonna go
there you go. Seats catching
then,
on.
Yeah. By the end of the match, it's just gonna be just Cadenza over and over. But JP gonna head down to Hype Cave shortly, grab his mitts, and then from there it's just where do you go? You still don't have East Death Mountain access, so you still need a Hookshot or a mirror. But definitely Pod is looking kind of nice. Could also fake flipper into Ice Palace if they're really looking to make a play.
Wouldn't be a bad one. Get some crystal, but it is early for that, I think.
Cadenza gets grabbed. And like the last room too. That's rough. Nice guy JP mowing the lawn a bit before going to Hype Cave. Not sure if Ganon employs any gardeners, but Link is doing a pretty good, or who's that? Godzilla doing a pretty good job of that.
Can he just use like his atomic breath? I feel like he's just showing off, dashing through the grass like that to cut it, personally.
Yeah, maybe he's a little shy on the stream. Doesn't want to show off just everything he's capable of. But here we go. Here's that pod play. Not going to gamble on a Ice Palace just yet, which is fine. I mean, it's not logic, but if you could potentially go mode it later, that's way better.
Nah, he's going Pyramid. Maybe Pyramid Quick Fish. I'd be surprised if he touches Pod right now with, like, say, again, Myershed open. If If he does go to Quick Fish early, he's just playing incredibly tight. And he's going to. I mean, I don't blame him. I'd probably do this in his place.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't have the mirror, just it's always risky kind of isolating catfish. So if you could just get that out of the way and not have to think about it later on, it's definitely makes the seed a little bit easier mentally, not having to think about it. Cadenza gonna go ahead and just clear out Skull Woods, but JP finding a cape there. Did we see what's on that cape ledge, or did he just pass it up?
Ah, you're quizzing me now.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
I want to say no. I don't think we've seen anyone go that far north. JP did it early where we went to Skull, but he went straight direct south. So we definitely didn't see it on his. Cadenza probably would be the one to check it, but with no cape, no mirror, I doubt we'll see it.
A little surprised to see JP go into desert first before doing just like those mire shed checks that you were talking about. Even without mirror, it's just, I think it's a little simpler just to check those, maybe find a bow, or just some sort of progression instead of gambling on a pendant dungeon.
Yeah, for sure. Desert's kind of a weird one. It doesn't seem like it takes that long, but it is an incredibly lengthy dungeon, like distance-wise. So at least they have the boots for it, but it is only 2 items, and I don't believe it's Green Pendant either. So I agree. I probably push that Mire Shed first, but I mean, if they find something here, then all power to it.
Denza getting that Green Pendant 2 off Mothula, so that'll be real nice if it does find something over at that turn in. And there's a powder too at the back of Skull Woods, so at least there's something there that, you know, could potentially lead to something else that JP hasn't found.
Yeah, powder, one of those pound for pound underrated items, I guess, in the game. Of course, being a fetch quest, but also a great safety to have mid to late game, specifically GT.
Yeah, even now it'll come into a lot of use with only 6 hearts. Sure, you only have red mail, but you know, those taking damage really does add up. Bombo's on Mire, so we're not going to see, you know, inside of Mire just yet. But that could be a play later on. Hookshot's still missing. Could be Hookshot in there.
We also haven't seen the mountain check either. And with that lamp they got in Village of Outcasts, Old Man is in play. Inside Spec Rock is play, and they'll get the scout of Spec Rock top. So it's probably one we're going to look to see soon. But we'll have to wait and see what our runners do here.
JP Balin on Desert Palace. Don't blame him on that. I don't know if there was 2 items. I think there may have been.
Yeah, you got 2 red 20s.
Oh, okay. So not too long to check those, but still, it's time lost for something you're not going to need to beat the seed.
Yeah, it's about a minute and a half for what he had to invest.
See Cadenza making the pod play now. Obviously gonna go turn in that pendant. Didn't have the mirror to just go into Dark World right away and do Pyramid first, but from here you can just walk down to those hammer pegs or just flute over there too.
That's just not fair.
Yeah, you get the early fire rod, you think, okay, Mothula's gotta get something, but just 1 rupee. So that'll be good for JP. I don't think he'll go back into Skullwoods anytime soon. Unless Hammerbat, you know, leads to something, which we'll find out right now. But he's gonna go ahead and go for those Death Mountain checks now. Only got 3 checks up here unless a mirror hookshot does show up. But kind of running out of locations that either one of them can be at. Fetch quest not really paying off, just getting the bombs off Magic Bat. So Skullwood's pretty much a bust at this point.
So right now we got what, Pod, Zora, and Spec Rock. I think that's about it. We see a mushroom on that Spec Rock cave, so we'll need a mirror for that. We see only 10 arrows inside the cave, so that's dead. We also have Spike Cave available to us now with the hammer, glove, and cape pattern, but I think JP might have forgotten that.
Yeah, that would have been a very opportune time to go ahead and just do it. You got full magic, you got half magic. Just knock it out, because trying to route in Spike Cave when you can do like Spiral Cave and then the whole like Dark Death Mountain check is a little bit awkward.
Looks like JP is going to go ahead and elect to go to Pod, stocking up on some potions. I imagine one's going to be for the road, the other one's going to be for the potion glitch coming up in Pod. I feel it's an all right risk, just because, again, you're so limited on what you can do. But chances are they're going to find what they want in Pod here.
Yeah, it's you know, at some point you just gotta get over to Pod, and with how many checks they've done so far, it definitely makes sense as a play. I mean, it's a crystal, so even if you're clearing stuff and you don't actually find anything, then you have it cleared at least for when you do have the bow. But purple chest also not giving anything, so it's like Cadenza may. Oh, I was thinking that was looking like an Ice Palace play for a second. Yo,
Yeah.
Cadenza setting up that water walk.
Yep.
We did get a small key in that first chest over at Pod, so no potion glitch just yet. We can get a little bit further in, so could still have a bow somewhere in here.
That's so dumb.
God, that's actually the exact place I was for JP's second seed. Like they had a hookshot go mode when he had his little race to find hookshot with frostbite, and no one checked the waterfall cave until like an hour 30, hour 40 or so.
Yeah. You know, I
Come on,
almost
JP.
can see JP just finding flippers here, which is good because it'll lead to that hook shot, but man.
That's alright, we'll just bully him about it later on.
Oh, and yeah, there's flips in Pod. Alright, well, Cadenza's... They could go to ice, but I think we know what they're going to do, and that's East Death Mountain, Dark World Death Mountain. Just the one major bastion of items that is left in this game. 8 total items in Light World and another 6 in the Dark World, and that's just on that east side, not including like other checks such as say Hera or TR, for example. So definitely gonna go ahead and pressure that now.
Yeah, with how many items we're still missing, like there's a good chance you're gonna find one of them there, even if it's not the bow. Like you can still get a red cane, mirror, one of those at least. And we can see what Turtle Rock is. Could be a Turtle Rock play as well if we find cane up here.
And JP going through his bombs like they're out of style, but luckily there's a couple skull pots that are gonna be able to refill them up.
Yeah, he's a little bit too close to that pit when he was trying to hit that switch, so he just kept throwing the bombs into there, just wasting them. This ain't Link's Awakening, can't do any bomb triggers. But yeah, Pod has a lot of bombs available, so you can just pick up a whole bunch. Cadenza is actually getting really close to dying. Could have taken a couple of hits there from those boulders before getting over to Paradox Cave and filling up, so that was a little scary. JP setting up for a death warp? Huh. I was about to say, like, yeah, like, what? What do you want to do after this? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, not
Dark
surprised.
Death Mountain. We still have so much to check, too.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
The value village of Rando. Oh,
Alright,
that can be
come on,
yours
JP.
for a hookshot.
Go south. Please go south. Okay, good. He's not going to fall for that again. Sure, it'll be a little bit later than Cadenza. But he'll get it and I'll have to like climb GT about Hookshot. Oh, whoa. Oh.
Huh?
Huh. Uh-huh. Oh, JP. You could still, I mean, clear Ice Palace, I guess. But, man. Those flippers, though. You didn't go to Ice Palace just because you found flippers. Like, you could have gone to Ice Palace before Pod.
I think if I'm going to put myself in their shoes, they're probably worried that they just did pop for just flippers, and it's going to lead to a crystal anyways, when they have Waterfall Cave. The problem with that is obviously the hookshot in Waterfall Cave. That is really nasty for him in this situation, because not only is it drawing him away from where he wants to go, because I think he would rather go to EDM and Dark World Death Mountain before Ice, but it's also going to slow him up a little bit in Ice Palace as well. Like, even though you could do bomb jumps, they are still going to be slower than hookshot usage, so depending on key layout and Ice. So it's just unfortunate at this point.
Now, the saving grace could be finding Kane here, unless Cadenza finds it here in Hookshot Cave. Because we do have Turtle Rock access with it being Ether. So that means like that I could see Cadenza kind of waiting to go to Ice Palace because of that. But if JP were to find it here, that could kind of make his Dark World, like his Dark Death Mountain checks, be kind of all in one go instead of having to go back up there.
I think that's what they need to remain parity in the race, to be honest. Not to call it now, and I would never do that, but it is gonna be it's gonna be tough, especially with like Tempered Bow and Mirror all being there. Just opens up a lot of the game. So I guess at this point we're just really looking for that Red Cane, aren't we? With, as you mentioned, TR being Ether, we pretty much have everything else you would ever want to complete a seed. Including the Tempered Sword.
Yeah, there's just just the knowledge we have between both the runners. It's just that keen eluding us right now. Because Cadenza will more than likely head over to Pod after clearing Hera right now. Unless he finds Kane, then he'll definitely do Troll Rock. But Pod is on the list.
For sure. And knowing what we know, money's on Hera or Swamp at this point for 8 items remaining in the game, where that Red King will spawn. That being said, I think your wild card here is probably going to be Meyer, just because gross, and also because it just has that avenue for if it's there, it becomes a game of who blinks first and kind of goes for it.
Interesting to not see Cadenza do Herapot, with we got the hook shot, you got the big key, so it's really just a time save. It's so important, like in this stage of the tournament, to just be able to have like every tool potentially at your disposal, and that could save like like a 30-second climb.
I literally just learned that today, live in a race. It's
so
not bad
easy.
when you know the placements. Yeah, when you know the placements, it's not bad. Also, shoutouts to Thelane and Bonta, by the way, for showing me that.
Yeah, and if there are any other people in the group stage currently watching that don't know it, like go get that practice ROM open, because it's such a free trick once you get the placements down, and it'll help so much.
So I take it you know the bootless setup as well, or just the I from what I heard was like boots were like the big setup because of the buffering and everything like that, and then there's a bootless setup, and I guess that's really the only one worth really learning at this point.
Yeah, the boots one is obviously like the faster one because you can just do that spin speed off the stairs. But yeah, I could do the bootless one. Like Dracaris has a really nice bomb setup using just kind of the same things you would do for hammer jump and pod. That makes it really easy to do. So thank goodness there's people smarter than myself learning these setups. All right, we got 2 invincibility items for JP. Hopefully that kind of makes them realize that Spike is in play, because don't want to have that be a deciding factor for him.
That is so smart by Cadenza. So noticing that what they got was flipper locked, they're gonna say to themselves, where have I not been so far? And sure enough, it's gonna tilt that bow right to Pod, be able to full clear it while they're there, and then they're gonna eventually see those flippers. That's a really heads-up play by them.
Alright, Ice Palace ended up being a bust, besides getting that crystal, of course. Like, obviously that's kind of useful, but as far as getting somewhere else, it's not gonna help JP too much, so I hope he follows the Clipper logic, get up to Zora Ledge, or the Waterfall Cave, because that's gonna give him all his progression at this point.
There's not really much left you can do at this point. I don't think there's really anything else.
I guess Spike Cave, but you would never do that at this point now, until you have another reason to go up there. Nice little time save there. Instead of swimming all the way down to that portal, just using the flute to go back. Just another example of just one of those, you know, miniature time saves that adds up, you know, over the course of the seed. Could really pay off later on. But Cadenza didn't check Spike Cave, did she?
No, I don't believe either player has.
Okay. So hopefully JP does make that call. Obviously Cadenza doesn't have the cape, so it wouldn't be in logic for her, but JP does have, you know, both items for it. So it could be a location that is necessary to find that cane. I can only imagine what was going through JP's mind when he found Hookshot there again. Just bad memories.
You think that's bad? Wait till you see 7 Chest Cave. I've been there so many times, like I know exactly the thought that's gonna go through his head. And I can't repeat it on air, but it's gonna be that. I guarantee.
Alright, so between Pendant, Turtle Rock, and that, Solski's guarantees are not very reliable.
What, because of Pendant T Rock? I mean, man, it's like V31. It's like the seed gen meta. Hey, you get Ice Rod early? Nah, man. It's gonna be Pendant. But I guess today it's not.
So yeah, we still gotta find bomb boats for Meyer at least. Swamp Palace, I guess. I mean, that is clearable now. For both our runners now that JP gets his mirror.
Yeah, that bonk just tells the story. You know, at least it wasn't mirror bow tempered in that order, like on the chest, because that would just be a lot to take in all at once. But again, we still need to find that red cane. It's still anyone's race. There's still plenty of seed, so let's not count anyone out yet, just yet.
Yeah, until someone actually, you know, gets into GT, it's really hard to call a lead, especially in a situation like this where we know Kane isn't going to show up for both our runners for a while. Unless JP decides to do Spike Cave and Skip Terra, then that'll be cool for us, but I don't know. Do we have another item in? I don't know if we had another item in pod. There's so many in there that it's hard to keep track of it.
I'm one of the worst when it comes to, oh, wow. Yeah, he's going to go right to Spike Cave because he does have that mirror. He could go back up there. And that Dead Rock was not cooperating. Or...
No, he just wanted to not wait for the Dead Rock. I was about to say,
we got that mushroom too.
Oh yeah, we do have that mushroom. I don't remember if Cadenza turned it in. I think she may have done it with flute, but I don't know. I don't pay attention.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm like the worst at counting items for dungeons. Like you have what, like 14 chests in pod? It's a lot to kind of tabulate, yeah.
Oh, we got Twitch chat here. They're just backing us up at this point. See, Rixus knew. Heart piece on mushroom, encompass on helmsore. I would have never known that. Oh, JP also skipping Harapot. It's so easy. You can literally just spin speed into the pot, and there you go. So easy. You guys gotta learn it.
So you literally,
it's such a cool trick.
Can you item dash as well, or does it have to be spin speed? I guess it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, I think you can just item dash. Shouldn't be an issue. Just all you need is just at least the hook shot.
All right, so Cadenza is gonna round out finishing off Eastern here, having that mirror, having that bow. There's one more item at Armos. If Red Cane's not there, it's really the next decisions that's gonna kind of shape the narrative of this race, I'd say. You have Ice Open, you have Swamp, that's a question mark right now. You obviously have Mire as well, but again, you have those two crystals ahead of you. It's a tough look, but it is still an option available. What do you do at this point? Like, what are you thinking? Are you thinking like, am I in a good spot right now? Do I feel a little behind? It's really hard to read in 1v1 in seats like these. I think we're kind of bottlenecks to one item.
I think if I was feeling good, or if I would have to pick one runner that's probably feeling good, it's probably Cadenza, just simply for finding the hook shot before going into pod and being able to do pod all in one go. And then it just, a lot of the decisions she's made have been just logical based on the items she's found. Whereas JP maybe feeling a little behind, not finding the hook shot as early as it was available, even if it wasn't technically logically available. But I think both of them are still kind of in a good spot because the Keen has not shown up, so that kind of equalizes a bit between the two of them. Any time you spent looking for an item. So I'm gonna assume JP will go into Spike Cave after this after he finishes up Hookshot Cave and checks that medallion over on Turtle Rock. So if he finds Keen there, I'm sure he'll start feeling a lot better about the seed. But I mean, when you're not finding items, you just go for crystals and hope that you find items along the way, to be honest.
I think if it's there and Cadenza didn't check it, it's gonna be a tough draw to go back there with those two crystals ahead of you. So that's definitely a point to observe.
Not finding Bombos would probably be the biggest boon if Keen shows up in Spike Cave. That way you're not forced into Mire. But we'll hopefully find out shortly. Please don't save and quit. Alright, cool. Thank you, JP. Give the people what they want.
Nope.
Nope, that's not what we want. JP, what are you doing?
You know what? Going through there twice, I'm pretty certain he forgot at this point.
Yeah,
it's an odd
marked
one
it.
to put off, right? Like you've had two stabs at it. It's either an educated, like I need to pass something to make up the time, or I just simply forgot, and it happens, guys.
Yeah, and plus we don't know where Keen is yet, so it could still be a play that works out. It's just, I mean, you take risks in these 1v1s. If you think, your opponent is gonna, do something that you may decide not to do. So, I mean, obviously we'll figure that out, post game, what their decision making was behind that. But it's a whole different ball game when you're actually in the runner seat in a situation like this.
Yeah, it's the play I kind of expected from Cadenza here. They're gonna charge in the swamp. I really like the play. honestly. Not so much from a what we know standpoint, but just how they played the seed so far. I think it just makes the most sense logically, so I'm all for it.
Yeah, and then once you finish this, you're just... Oh wait, what do we got? Let's see, did we finish? Oh, we finished both
Fairy.
red crystals.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can go mode swamp, then you'll take that, especially if it's just turning in, doing these 2 checks right here.
Yeah, I certainly don't mind the play either. Again, like you mentioned, to be able to go mode swamp.
So I imagine JP will probably actually do swamp after finishing pod in Eastern, just kind of based on his play. It doesn't look like he's wanting to take too many risks aside from the whole Spike Cave thing. So going into going into Swamp Palace is more safe play, I guess. Especially when it's being an Earth Crystal, so I could see him going into there right after Helmasaur, or after Armos.
The bee attacked that fairy for a hot second, and then I don't know what that fairy said to it, but it just charged right off. I've never seen a bee fly away so fast.
I don't know, I don't mess with the fairy at all. If I was that bee, I'd be like... I would just like fly up to it and be like, hey, this ain't my decision. And just peace out. So we still have we have Graveyard Ledge now available, and because I don't think either of them are checked Bumper Ledge, that could be a check coming up from Cadenza. She's really kind of gambling on finding Kane before Swamp Palace. So I could see her kind of making those 2 checks real quick.
I definitely think with finding that cape there at Quickfish kind of is a good outlier for that, and yeah, that's what they're thinking at that point. So I don't think either player, like you mentioned earlier, has checked Bumper Cave, and then they have one of the more gross locations, I guess, in the game, Graveyard Ledge. Very interesting when you see kind of go mode scenarios levitate around that location, just because it's such a one-off, particularly when it's a later mirror. It's a tough one to get back to, but in this instance, it makes a lot of sense.
It is interesting that she did not check it earlier. Okay, so it's just going to be 3 bombs, and then, oh, we get this Lumberjack check as well, which I really hope that isn't Kane there, because that would be pretty
not
crappy.
Yeah.
It's not? Okay.
No. Yeah, I think there's just a red 20 in there. Yeah.
But these overworld checks, if JP does go to Swamp right after this, really kind of helping balance out these 2 runners. But wow, we're not even gonna check Graveyard Ledge. We're just gonna go to go somewhere else. Bobo?
Ice Palace, maybe. Although I would expect
loot to Link's
8.
house. Yeah. But this is good for JP. Even if you see a runner, checking certain locations instead of going into dungeons and not finding anything, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because eventually the other runner is probably going to do the same at some point, and then you save time, or at least equalize it a little bit by them checking those locations while you're doing something else. There it is. Although I should probably check Bombos first before going to Swamp, but definitely the Swamp play makes sense from JP's perspective.
I agree. I think in this point they just have on their mind catch up. That's not cats up or catch up. It's the good old homage to catch up. Just thinking they might be a little behind. And you know what? They have 5 crystals over Cadenza's 4. So I wouldn't say that they are behind at all in this instance, especially since they're going to be first to Swamp. But I kind of get that sense from them, and they just want to go ahead and press that crystal for their 6th.
This will actually be really useful for JP if Cadenza goes and does Ice Palace here, because obviously JP's already finished it, but because she's not going to find Kane in there, then that's going to be a full clear Ice Palace while JP is checking all these new locations that we haven't seen just yet.
Yeah, in this situation, do you go Swamp or do you go Ice normally? Taking out elements like red crystals, pendants, that sort of stuff, or whatever. It's just crystal for crystal. These are my dungeons.
So I would actually probably do Swamp first, simply because it could be a Kane required Swamp, or a Kane required Ice Palace. I mean, granted, you could just do the Ice Palace bomb jump to bypass that, but if I'm not finding Kane, I'm thinking I have to full clear Ice Palace, and I want to get that kind of easier routing without doing Ice Palace bomb jump. So Swamp makes more sense to me, especially thinking about, like, you know, the late mirror and Hookshot as well.
Yeah, I think Swamp makes the most sense for both. I think in JP's sense, he's probably thinking skip left side. Cadenza, because they've gone ahead and done a lot of the overworld, they don't have that many locations left. Probably would feel more comfortable with the full clear, or it would be more sensible. So I just like the Swamp play overall, because like you said, you can go mode nice, and a lot of the items you can hit along the way to Argus. It's just a good clean play, I think.
Now, whether or not he goes into left side is, I don't know, like, how you accurately route that, like if it's a good idea or not. I mean, we've all been burned by left side Swamp at some point, but it's just one of those things. I think it's more like a mentality thing, more so than if it's actually efficient or not to go there after clearing, you know, everything and then going back inside.
I think it's one of the few actual gambles in Rando. If we look to the past, like, the term gets thrown out around a lot, but it is what it is. It's a gamble. It's an educated guess based on the odds of how many locations you have left. All right, am I going to make this play that's going to cost me a minute 45 to 2 minutes, or am I going to sacrifice that for other locations? Like, it's a really kind of neat meta to watch unfold in a race. But yeah, what do we have left at this point? I guess KB45, Graveyard. I'm not sure if we've seen Bombo's tablet either, or even Ether. I don't. Oh yeah, no, JP did Ether.
Yeah, we got Ether out of the way, but yeah, it's those 3, and then as well as the ever elusive Spike Cave.
Yes.
Alright, I think with finding Compass there, that gives a little bit more weight to go in left side, because it's one less dungeon item that could be over there. I don't know if we picked up the map or not, but I think he'll probably go back inside.
I'm actually surprised he goes back there with Fat Fairy still available in his shoes, but it might be the right play here.
If there was one thing I would have done different, it would have probably been checking 45 and Bombo stab up before heading to Swamp, just because they're in the same area. You got to be in Dark World anyway, so you're already kind of set up for it. Because if you find your last item there, then boom, you got Kill Mode Swamp, and then
Yeah.
whatever else you need to do.
I think I've been burned by that before, where I've like full clear swamp and then Bombo's had it for like my go mode. It was just like, well, that's like 3 minutes I'm never getting back.
Kind of nice part about not having Keen, obviously, is just rather it being Kane and not like something like Bow or whatever, is that you know that you just go mode T-Rock as soon as you get up there. Alright, JP, show us the goods. Show us that red cane. That's what the people want. Or show us Bombos, that's what Solsky wants.
It would be so bad. I think the real winner would be Silvers, just because then it's like, alright, it's not here, but my time's actually been vindicated. So, I don't know. I'm not sure Red Kane's going to be here anymore. I imagine it would have been odds-on favorite, and logically it would have been there, but we'll see. There's really not that many places left, so there's a good chance it's going to be here.
Yeah, finding Silvers would be kind of nice for JP. He did win his second match against Frostbite because, well, okay, that's all right too. It's not as good as Silvers, but it's a nice it's what's the word? It's like a participation, a trophy.
You know what they call that? I can't believe it's not Silvers. Like, you do that and you're like, oh man, you know, at least give me Silvers, and then you get Buttersword. And you're just like, well.
Alright, so this race is gonna get a copyright strike by can't believe it's not Butter brand. But that's alright. We still got random.
You mean sponsored, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. You're gonna come out of hiding and just be like, alright, we're making an esports team. JP's at the front. Alright, got those mirror checks. Mirror probably gonna add.
Hey, that's right.
Yep, there it is. That's a pretty cool item. So
and Cadenza going for Bombos. They might just go ahead and check out that K45 like you mentioned as well. But the strat I typically will see from here is Bombos in the swamp, so.
Yeah, it's just such a valuable check because, I mean, you're gonna check it after swamp if you don't find what you're looking for. So you might as well just kind of take that chance that you check it and then it does have what you need. So you can just go ahead and go mode swamp.
Well, Dead Rock's doing what Dead Rocks do best. And that's hate on Brewers fans. They just don't like them. What's the Milwaukee Brewers nemesis team? Help.
Someone give us the hot lore on football. I watch Zelda all day. I don't watch real sports.
It's the Reds, isn't it? The Cardinals? All right. Yeah, they're Cardinals fans.
Or they're just literally every football team that chat comes up with. Because we're all nerds. We don't watch football.
The Toronto Argonauts. Okay, got it.
We got the Cubs. Not even the right sport, but that works. Wait, are the Cubs a football team too?
Nah, man, they're baseball. They won the World Series like a few years ago.
thought that was just in Back to the Future.
Well, welcome to the future.
Welcome to Speed Gaming 3, where the future is now. Oh, really? Milwaukee Brewers are baseball? I thought that was football. Well, I've been exposed. I just watched
How
hockey.
embarrassing. Anyways, Turtle Rock. JP 6 crystals in hand, gonna finish off 7th crystal TR. I did see some people in chat were saying like JP probably thinks he's behind. I mean, I see that cliche said a lot, but to put it in the runner's mind, that Red Cane's in a bad spot. Like K45 or Graveyard in a really late mirror that opens up at least in the mountain 4 crystals. That's not really a location you're gonna see picked at that suddenly after that place. So unless they're Nostradamus, they're probably not gonna get there early. So I think they're feeling pretty comfy. 6 crystals in hand at 115.
Yeah, definitely. If there's one thing, it would just be given like JP's match history with Frostbite, just finding the hook shot in the same exact spot kind of late could make him feel a little uneasy, I guess. But doesn't matter in this case because we know that he's pretty far ahead of Cadenza at this point.
That's free.
Okay. That's a place you want to find it. So we got butter sword or gold sword. We got silvers. We got red mail. All we need is bombos, and then we got a pretty fast Vitreous kill. I mean, we're doing Vitreous, right? Like, doesn't matter. It's pendant. We're
Where's
just gonna go into
Bombos?
Mire, clear it.
Did you know that I picked up Bombos in my second race when I didn't need to on like Lonely Island? That was great.
Did you like mismark your tracker?
No, I was just an idiot. It's just an idiot.
Just why not? You know,
Yeah.
Bombos is a nice item to find. Just makes everything blow up. It's pretty fast for a gauntlet sometimes.
I do believe I saw Godzilla turn into, I think they're called a Gyarados. Could be wrong. I think I'm right
That
though.
one of those Digimon or something. It's
Nah,
still a franchise, right?
nah.
Or is that like a baseball team I'm not aware of? Alright, Cadenza, she gets her 6th crystal. Hopefully she heads over to Q45.
Nope.
Nope. We got left side. That's a little rough, but what can you do? Every race you learn something kind of new, or at least how to do something a little bit more efficiently. So if there was one thing from this race, it would probably be checking Bombos and Mirror Cave before going into Swamp. It's not always going to pay off, but in that rare chance that it does, then it pays off really big. And chat's over here just questioning our pop culture knowledge. That's perfectly fine. I just watch World War II documentaries on History Channel 24/7. All right, JP. Going into Trinex with Gold Sword. Gonna make some pretty fast work of Godzilla's eternal villain rival.
Set up the spin. Set up the. Nah.
JP, do it. I mean, it doesn't matter that Trinex was far away from the wall, right? Like, he'll still hit the double.
Yep. As long as you position correctly. It's usually just in the middle, just a little bit to the left. Because obviously he'll always do that L shape along the wall there before he starts floating in the middle. But you'll typically always hit that double with proper timing. And if you position it well enough, you'll actually get pushed away on that double, so he can't hit you, and then you just slash down for the third.
Chat's already ahead of us, but it doesn't matter because the bot doesn't work. But you can go ahead and guess where that big key's going to be on JP side.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, forget that. I've already been bullied enough by chat for not knowing my sports, so they're all on mute right now. Especially you, Swerve. I saw you.
But yeah, Cadenza getting their red cane, and they're gonna head on over to TR, get their 7th crystal, go to GT, save the day.
GP potentially setting up for Dark Magician. Everyone's favorite route until it doesn't work out, and then they just switch to full left, and then they switch back to Dark Magician when Big Key's on the right side. Well, with that many keys, you gotta go right side.
It just has to be there.
Just it logically makes sense. But yeah, I like this route a lot. I prefer to like do full right because it hasn't really burned me too much in the past. But I think doing this before going full left is probably a kind of, I don't know if it's a better play, but it feels better.
That was a lot of fire rod shots.
Yeah, you gotta be a little careful of that. You want fire rod for some of the gauntlet. No big key for you. Come on, JP, go full right.
Nah.
Ah. Can't believe JP is not the people's champion.
I can't believe that GT route didn't work out.
Think Dorm. Yeah, JP's probably watching right now. Thinking, well, I know where it is. And it's not here. So, joke's on you, JTP. By the way, we actually don't know who won. I don't even have SRL open.
Same.
For all we know, JP was like, I really want to do Meyer before Ganon. And Cadenza caught up. So this is definitely a match. Cadenza being a little careful of that chain chomper him, despite being kind of full health and having that red tunic, but those things still hurt a lot. Hey,
Hey, there's Bombos. Go to
Hey,
Meyer.
there's Bombos. Oh, he's pulling out the mirror. He could have just saved and quit, but I don't know. Maybe he just wants to clear GT first before he goes to Meyer. Also, I just want to point out we're completely joking about Meyer. There's probably at least one person in chat, like, actually thinking, like, why are they talking about Meyer? It's a pendant dungeon. We just really like Meyer, but it is not required to finish the seed, which is why JP's going up to the gauntlet.
Yeah, we really shouldn't confuse Swerve like that.
Got him.
Okay, I had to mute myself right there because that really made me crack up. We like Swerve. We really do like Swerve. He's a cool guy. But that was pretty funny. JP doing a pretty good job of his gauntlet so far. And then he gets the Zazik on the other side. I'm sorry. I know you're watching me like, oh, that's why you took that bad route. Because JTB was commending my play. That was a nice shot, though. I'll give him that. Pretty nice 2-cycle. Just barely misses that that third arrow on the third landmolds. Just decided to go the opposite direction that JP was shooting at, but still 2 cycles pretty fast, and then he's out of the hard part of the gauntlet and onto the easy part. I'm a little surprised he did not pick up that full magic refill from that Wiz Road, especially coming into this room. I think it's in a little bit more favorable place compared to this next one that he's gonna have to pick up. But he could be just like straight up, like, I just want to execute as fast as I can and not break from, you know, what I already know, and just go ahead and grab that much magic pot instead.
That's probably what the story is there. Typically, when you have those kind of strats ingrained, you just don't want to pull from them because that just kind of confuses you.
Cadenza finishing up her Trinex fight. She's going to be heading into Ganon's tower as well. But JP heading into his Moldorm 2 fight. Gonna go ahead and get this kill pretty fast. No Moldorm bounce needed today.
How easy is that trick?
So I think you'll have a difference of answers between asking me and a certain other partner linked to the past streamer who may or may not be in chat right now. But I don't think it's too hard. It's just really learning kind of the patterns for Moldorm and then how to buffer the bomb. But it's really useful if you're like me and you just can't hover for the life of it.
It was a good angled hit there by JP. That's a tough one with the two clones in the front towards the right side angle, and then the main Aga at the left side wall. So that was a good salvage there.
Yeah, definitely practicing that fight could really pay off in spades. Difference between clearing it in 3 cycles versus like 5 or 6 is quite a lot, especially in the very last leg of the seed itself. So it's good to see that he's been practicing that a bit. And then it doesn't matter how much he's practiced Ganon, he's just gonna get carried through this fight with Silvers and Golden Sword. There we go on the phase 3 of Ganon. Being actually really nice with these teleports. I know, like, if I'm like in a race like this and I'm watching SRL and I see my opponent hasn't finished and I start getting like a ton of teleports, then I start panicking quite a lot. But JP is 1 silver shot away from taking game 1 of this match versus Cadenza. Swords up. And assuming nothing bad happens here.
Get your claps in chat. Clap your hands. Let's go.
Let's clap for Brewers finishing the seed with 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 40 seconds.
You said the thing. Yes. GG's to Brewers and JP. Great race one for him in this second round matchup in the losers bracket.
Yeah, definitely getting that game 1 win. It's gotta feel pretty good for JP, BrewersFanJP, especially going into game 2. Just having kind of that win under your belt and the knowledge that you're could not get potentially knocked out game 2 is it really does a lot for your mentality. All right, should we bring him into this channel?
Nah.
Or should we just leave him down there?
Yeah.
What do you think, chat? Do you want to hear from JP? Leave it up to you. Twitch chat plays Speed Gaming Discord. Okay.
What's that, chat? You want us to kick him from the channel? That's really mean, but okay, I guess. I guess we can do that.
Well, I don't have mod, unfortunately. So I guess we'll
Neither
just
do
bring
I.
him up here. Hey JP, how do you feel about that hook shot?
At the time I didn't feel the greatest. I was a little mad, but overall, actually, I don't think it hurt me too bad.
Oh yeah, also good game. Congrats on your win.
Thank you.
So I gotta ask, what's your favorite baseball team?
I guess it would be the Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh, I thought that was a football team actually.
Yeah, I thought it was you like the Cardinals personally, or maybe even the Cubs, but I don't know.
We're gonna have some words after this.
No, we're not. Anyways, how are you feeling though? Like, I get it that you're probably feeling a little frustrated when you saw that hook shot and then it led to the mirror bow and sword. But like you said, it didn't really matter too much. Looks like you had a good game plan there. Kind of attacking those crystals as soon as you could, and then leveraging that with some overworld. And you managed to get around some of those good overworld spots. One I want to kind of touch on that you might have forgotten, we're not too sure, is Spike Cave. Do you remember kind of looking at that as a possibility, or was that one of those things where you kind of were like, I'll just do that later?
It was kind of one of those things I'd do that later. Because basically once I was done with Hookshot Cave, I had like at that point, what was it? I had 3 other crystals I could do, and I felt like pushing those a little bit more. I mean, I could have gone to check Spike Cave right after I did Hookshot Cave. I didn't really I don't know if I'd say I forgot about it, but I definitely didn't prioritize it. But yeah, I did push Crystal Dungeons, which was good. Maybe those pendant dips were probably not the best idea. I mean, I kind of felt maybe the sea was pointing me there, so I decided to try it. But I mean, overall, I going through the race, I didn't know if I was behind or ahead because I was thinking, okay, I did this, which I knew cost me some time, but at the same time, I kind of felt if you got that mirror early, it could lead you astray. So, pushing the crystal dungeons actually was a good move for me. Maybe I was kind of listening in at the end. Maybe doing K45 before Swamp would have maybe saved me a little more time. But at that point, I'm just like, I want to just keep pushing crystals. I just want to keep pushing the crystals, and we'll go from there.
Definitely can't fault you there. I mean, I probably have the same MO at that point for where you were at.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like going to the end, I didn't know because I could easily have seen Cadenza or hitting a god route, but I could have also seen a lot of full clearing. So I didn't check over too much, but I also didn't check. But I also did have extra checks, so I kind of felt like it could go either way.
Yeah, that was kind of the difference maker, is that Cadenza really, she focused on those overworld checks looking for Arcane. Granted, she didn't check the Mirror Cave before going to the swamp, so that kind of burned her a bit. But yeah, she would focus on overworld. You would just be focusing on dungeons. Whether or not whatever the correct play is, kind of can't really know for sure. But in this case, obviously just focusing on the crystal dungeons, really helped you solidify a lead once that key was found. But sure, you're feeling pretty good going into at least game 2 with that win under your belt. Just kind of having that that safety, not being knocked out. Game 2, that's gotta be feeling pretty good, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. I know I have a little bit of safety going into this one now. I'm still gonna be a little on edge because I know Cadenza can easily beat me the next 2 games, so I've got to be very careful still. But it definitely feels good to get the first win, and at least in game 2, then I can relax a little more, and that might help me a little bit. We'll see what Cadenza chooses to switch in the seat, if anything. Yeah, it does feel good to, I think, for once at least, be up in this series, because I feel like in most of my series I'm always down, so being up for once is good.
I will point out this, your play was pretty smooth this race. There's a lot of clean execution. I mean, you're heading up to go mode in your 7th crystal at like 115, 116. I mean, that's like that's a pretty good hard time for something like this, right? Like with a late game kind of item like that. So again, kudos to you and your gains in the last year or so, man. Like, you've really improved, so keep at it.
Yeah, thank you. There's I even watching back, I still see some small things, but I definitely do feel like I am doing better overall. I definitely do see the gains. There's always little things you can be working on, but I definitely do feel like I am getting better, so that's good.
Well, we've made it to group stage, so I mean that in itself is a big win out of how many people went through the qualifiers. So really, your skill shouldn't be questioned at this point, but it's good to kind of be able to look at yourself, post game and be like, okay, this is something I can improve on for my next race, and then just have that, like I said, just being able to see those gains over time.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Cadenza also finishing up her Ganon fight. She'll be finishing up in like 2 seconds. Yep, there it is. GG Cadenza, finishing with a time of 1:39:06. Congrats to her. I don't know if we're gonna get her in for an interview. She may be over at the French restream. That would make more sense to me.
She mentioned it before the race in the chat. Let me see if I can find it.
But we'll kind of wait, see.
She's
That's her call.
she said in chat that she'd probably interview on the French side first if I won. So
All right, so we got like 10 more minutes to talk trash about JP. What's the next question from chat that we want to ask him?
if I pull up the
Why is your
chats.
name JP BrewersFanJP? I don't get that.
Well, I mean, when I originally set up my Twitch, it was BrewersFanJP, and I always want to be called JP. And I feel like that's been a bit of a struggle to get people to realize. So that's kind of why I eventually changed it to what I did on display now. I feel like I don't want to downplay the Brewers fan part of my name, but at the same time, I want people to know how I prefer to be called.
All right, going down the list. How does it feel to lose to Willard J. Bradley in Halo?
Oh man, like, why you gotta do him like that?
Hey, I'm just reading the questions from chat. It's right there.
Who loses to Willard though? Oh.
Yeah, he beat me in Halo, but at the same time, I think I had a couple wins there too.
Okay, I'm out of questions. What is your ideal Friday evening?
My ideal Friday evening? Good question. Usually I don't have much of an evening because I work until like 8 o'clock my time. So usually I'm getting back to my apartment about 9 o'clock. So I guess for the most part it's just I sit down and relax. If depending on how I feel, but depending on when I when I get home,
Alright,
I guess
so
I usually do like
joins us. Hey, JP, be quiet. Yo,
Sorry.
congrats.
I feel there's some
Sorry,
friends in here.
I was just we were hearing about JP's like ideal Friday evening. I don't know why he started talking about that. Just it's kind of weird, but no, you're here, so we can say, hey, GG.
Thank you.
So we gotta ask too, just because we asked JP as well. But did you? So obviously, we kept talking about Spike Cave throughout that race. Did you feel like there was a chance that Kane could have been in there, or was there some kind of like? What was like the reasoning for like skipping that? Because like the first like hour was just like we think Kane is in Spike Cave.
In fact, it was very late that it was in logic for me. I've got the cape on Catfish. I don't know at what time, but there was so much open at that moment that going to Spike Cave, which was like really a one-off location, really didn't seem like the good option at that moment. So I had it in mind, but I think it would have been my last check if it was there.
Okay, yeah, I don't blame you for that. I did forget that we did see the Kane of Berna and Cape kind of show up later for you than we did for JP. But we saw you kind of prioritizing like a lot of overworld checks, looking for that Kane instead of going for the dungeons. Was that something to just kind of be able to go mode those last couple dungeons, or?
Yeah, there was a bit of that. I wasn't sure, honestly, if I should go into dungeons or do a bit of overworld. I was like, okay, there's a lot of like quick checks, but it's not that quick. Is it quicker than like being able to go mode dungeons? I was really not sure. I do a few of them, then I was okay. I will go in ice. 3 items, and it's not that long to full clear compared to left side swamp. So I think I've done a bit of overworld after ice, and then I almost checked K45 before going to swamp, but decided against it. But I don't think it would have changed anything at that point, because I think I was late at that moment. So it was hard to tell, like, everything open at once with that mountain, which had the bow, the mirror, which opened like everything, and the hookshot before that. So yeah, it was tricky to know where to search.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that. Definitely, the hook shot showing up in Waterfall Cave just kind of opened up a lot, especially with the bow and the mirror also showing up in Death Mountain. So it's always a rough call to make. Like, do I gamble on a couple of these overworld locations to potentially go mode? Because if you do, then if you find that last item, you skip so much. But no, I hear you on that. It's kind of a rough decision to make. It was really anyone's game until that cane was found, because JP was doing the exact opposite. He was focusing on crystal dungeons while you did overworld, so it was just a race of who's going to find this first and just going from there.
And after all, the cane was indeed in the overworld, so I'm not sure, should I have pushed that to the end? Maybe.
I don't blame you. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I did have one question. Exactly where in your progression did you find the mirror? Because I'm guessing it was after you had done Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, I found a mirror. I did Thief's Town at first. I think I went in Skullwood right away because there wasn't much open and no crystal dungeons I could finish. Then I decided to go for my fake flippers and found my hookshot. Then went to Death Mountain and find my bow and my mirror. So at that point I was okay, I will do Pod and Eastern. I found my flippers, and then I could do ice and swamp and a lot of overworld. So that's where it started to be like, where do I go?
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, if it's one of those situations, I guess even though the mirror was somewhat early for you, it was still kind of late because it was after the time it would have been optimal to have.
Yeah. And also, I didn't want to use it right away because it was out of logic. So I was okay. That's why I didn't do the era basement, because I was okay. It's out of logic. I might find the cane in the dungeons that are logic right now. So I will go check Pod Eastern, probably that my flippers are there, and maybe my Cane of Samaria is there too.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I actually, Ice Pals is one of the ones I hit as soon as I got those flippers. Surprisingly, I think all of Ice was in logic without both Hookshot and Cane. So that was a bit of a surprise. Unfortunately, it didn't yield anything.
Yep. I'm not sure about the Hookshot, but the Cane, of course, yeah. It wasn't required.
Well, so going into game 2, you're going to have the option to kind of choose a different setting, Cadenza. Do you have one already in mind, or?
Yeah, I think I'll do the same thing as round 1, which was a fast Ganon, so it makes for quicker seats. In evening nights, it's fun to have quicker seats to play.
Okay.
So really, you're not racing to win your seed, you're just racing to go to bed sooner, is what I'm saying.
Well, Ganon 2 is one of my nemesis too, so I'm glad I can skip that.
That's fair. Yeah. Aga 2, it's weird for me. Sometimes I can get it down easily, sometimes it just plagues me.
I'm really bad, I'm just bad. Yeah, yesterday I was doing a friendly seed, and I think I did a 8 cycle I got to. It was like ridiculous.
Well, I am interested in seeing how game 2 does play out. There's 2 different play styles as far as routing goes here for this seed. So seeing if how the next race does play out for both of those play styles. It's always kind of interesting seeing the whole series and just the strengths of each runner, really how well it benefits them depending on what randomizer gives you. But that's all I have. Solsky, did you have any other trash talk for JP or any praise for Cadenza? That's
Nah, you both
He's
play.
probably playing Halo. Oh, there he is.
Still here. Get out of here. No, you both play great. Nothing really more else to add. Just good luck with the rest of the tournament, guys.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, I think we're kind of going to wrap it up. It's a pleasure doing a commentary review, Solsky. It's always fun to be able to commentate a match with someone I know. And just kind of have a fun time. So I hope you had a good time too, baby.
Yeah, likewise. It was a lot of fun tonight.
Shout outs to Cassidy for doing the tracking. We never even brought them up. So shout outs to all the items on our screen being tracked by Cassidy. Otherwise, we would just be looking for every item because we don't know what's being picked up. Coming up, what do we got else tonight? I think we're all done for tonight on Rando. Tomorrow we got matches starting at 1:20 p.m. on Speed Gaming 3, Walther versus Frostbite. So the other side of this bracket, the winner's side, between those two, going to be going at it to start in a doubleheader to see who's going to get on into the bracket stage. And there's a whole bunch of rando going out there today. You guys can check the schedule, you know where it is. But 1:20 is the time to be back here at this exact channel if you want to see more randomizer. With that, looking forward to watching the next race, and y'all have a good rest of your night.
Bye.